Hi there, Sharon Hesp here, the Good Gut Girl. Welcome back to our Cooking in Captivity series. So I'm doing a Cooking in Captivity series because I just would like to show you all how easy it is to cook with just a few ingredients and a few kitchen staples and still keep your gut in fantastic shape. So we're cooking some pasta tonight, obviously some gluten-free pasta, but it's got asparagus and chives and rocket and smoked salmon and capers in it, and it's really, really delicious. So you only need a few kitchen essentials. You need a saucepan, the biggest saucepan that you have. This is probably a little bit too little, but I may do with it, okay? So you need a saucepan. Fill that saucepan up with water, about 3/4 full. Make sure you boil that water and then you can put the pasta in. So that's what you need for that. You also need some gluten-free pasta. You need a few things. You just need a big mixing bowl, a wooden spoon, a chopping board, some smoked salmon that's already cut up. You need some capers. Now with capers, these are really, really tricky to get out of the jar and still keep the juice in there. So just kind of get a fork and try and get them out. I've already pre-done it because this is like a kind of a cooking show and I can pre-do a couple of things. You also need some rocket. You need about 50 grams of rocket. I don't have enough rocket because this rocket is from my garden and this is all that I have, but that's okay. You also need some chives. Now, if you don't have any chives in your garden, go and get some and grow them. They grow like a weed and they give you really, really good taste. You also need some olive oil, some decent olive oil. You need some asparagus. What you do with the asparagus is you cut it into 2 centimeter long chunks, pop a little bit of olive oil in the bottom of the pan and just cook it for about 2 minutes. So I've pre-done that like I've done the pre-done pasta. And there's one last thing that you need. Even though it's Monday night, you need a glass of wine because we're cooking pasta. So I'm pretty ready. Now, this is how you put it together. As I said to you before, I've already pre-cooked the pasta. Now, what you need to be careful with pasta, or with gluten-free pasta in particular, and tip, don't put oil in the water when you cook the pasta. There is no point. The oil will sit on the top, okay? So with gluten-free pasta, it's a bit trickier to cook than regular pasta. With regular pasta, you can tell when it's cooked and you can take it out. With gluten-free pasta, take it out before you get to that stage. Otherwise, you end up with this huge gluggy mess, okay? So just keep it a little bit undercooked. So for this recipe, I'm going to throw in a little bit of olive oil. This is really good, decent olive oil. This is delicious. A little bit of olive oil. All of the pre-cooked asparagus. And just mix that up. Okay, I think a packet of pasta is about 250 grams. I'm not really sure. So you mix that up. Then we can pop the capers in. Just throw all them in and just mix it up a little bit more. Oh, I hope the bowl's going to be big enough. It should be. Now this is just for 2 people, so I think we're going to have a few leftovers. A little bit more of the decent olive oil. Okay, now this is where it gets a little bit messy, because if I throw all of this smoked salmon in, all the chives in and all the rocket in together, it turns into a big clump and it's just a bit of a disaster. So you have to put it in a little bit by a little bit and stir it up, a bit more oil, stir it up, a bit more oil, stir it up. Now with the smoked salmon, you can buy, it's called, I couldn't get it this time, but you can buy a special cooking smoked salmon because it seconds and it's just in little bits and it doesn't look flash or grate or anything like that. But it's perfect for cooking this dish. So you just put in a few pieces of the smoked salmon and you can see the smoked salmon, it sticks together. It's a pain in the neck. A few chives and a little bit of rocket and just mix it in. So you just have to slowly do that and just stir it up each time. But yeah, it makes a mess, but that's okay. But yeah, if you throw it in all together, it just gets really a big gluggy mess, and you don't want to do that. So be careful sometimes with gluten-free pasta, because sometimes it contains egg, okay? And you don't want that. Well, if you've got egg issues, you don't want it. But a lot of people have egg issues, so just be careful when you buy your gluten-free pasta that it doesn't have egg in it, okay? So I think you get the picture. All you do is I keep on putting it in and I'll stir it up, okay? Now, it sounds like it might be a little bit too salty because we've got smoked salmon in here and we've got capers in here, but for some strange reason, I don't often cook with salt, but with this dish, I always salt it, okay? I don't know why, it just makes it a little bit more saltier. It just gives it a bit better flavour. So don't be scared with it. Just try it first and then salt it if you need to. It's really, really nice. So eventually we'll get there. Just a little bit more smoked salmon, a little bit more rocket. Hope this rocket's okay because it's from the garden and I think it's a bit old and tough. But it'll heat up with the pasta and it'll be fine. And lots of really good, decent olive oil. That olive oil is really, really good for your gut health. It's probably one of, or it's not probably, it is one of the 5 best foods for gut health. It's really good at killing off bacteria, and it's really good at getting those enzymes in your gut to start working. It's absolutely beautiful. All right, and the last of the smoked salmon. Now, as you can see, it's probably a little bit much for 2, but what I will do is put it in the fridge and just reheat it in the microwave for lunch because it reheats really, really well. And that's it. That's all you do. So this is ready to eat. I will taste it. Before you salt anything or before you season anything, you really need to taste it. If you taste it and you think it doesn't need salt, then don't salt it. It's as simple as that. So here it is. Pasta with asparagus, rocket, chives, capers and smoked salmon. It's absolutely delicious. You've got the recipe there if you'd like to cook this one day. And I think that's it. Tomorrow night we're going to have a lamb shoulder with tomato and barley. So tune in tomorrow night and you can see how we cook that. Thanks guys, bye.